Right, another treadmill video about a cut instead of a bulk this time. And a cut is basically the opposite of a bulk. Like, not too different to be fair. It's a cut is eating less than your calorie maintenance, and a bulk is eating more than your calorie maintenance. And you only cut if you want to lose body fat. So if you have a high body fat percentage, then you need to cut. But a calorie deficit is the key to cutting. And what a calorie deficit is basically eating less calories than your maintenance. So like bulking is eating more than your maintenance, so you put on size. And a calorie deficit is eating less. It's very simple. Well, it is extremely simple. It's called your maintenance for a reason. So if you ate basically that what your maintenance is for the rest of your life, you'd stay the same weight forever. Unless something like happened, like you lost a leg. That would probably affect it. But how do you actually find your calories if you want to go on a cut? It's the same as how you'd find your calories on a bulk. You find your maintenance, but instead of increasing it, oh, I need to clear my throat. But instead of increasing it, you need to decrease it. But not by a lot. A lot of like people they're really high in body fat, and then they're like, I need to get rid of this fast, and they just drop it down by like 1,000 calories. So say they're on a maintenance of 2,500. Well, if you was really fat, you'd probably be on a lot more than that. So let's say just 3,500. That's probably a better example. Say they was on 3,500 and they wasn't happy with the amount of fat that they had, they would decrease it by about 1,000, and that is not how you cut. You need to slowly decrease it. So I'd say the first month, decrease it by around 200 to 500 and see how much you lose. If you're not losing enough, then obviously up your calorie decretion. But if you're steadily like losing a fair bit of mass, then keep it on that. Like your maintenance, as long as it's below your maintenance, you're good. And it's gonna be if you're decreasing it from your maintenance. So no big calorie jumps, just slowly decrease it. And like a lot of people go a lot of people make videos on how to lose weight fast. And in my opinion, fast weight loss is not good weight loss. Because when you lose weight fast, you're losing a lot of unnecessary stuff that's not fat, such as like your muscles and stuff like that. So if your weight is decreasing too fast, you're probably losing muscle mass as well. And it's not just fats, because fats take a long time to break down. So say you went into the gym and you worked out. Well, let's not even say worked out, you just did cardio like I was doing. I'm not using any fats on this right now. I'm using all my carbs from the day. It's like what? I don't know what the time is. Oh, it's 8:30 at night. All of my carbs that I've ate today, I'm using for this. I'm not using any fats, but once I've used them carbs, then the fats start to get used. I may be using a bit of fat, but it's mostly carb. It's probably a 90% carb, 10% fat. So to really lose that fat, you need to be doing like not high intensity cardio, but that will make you sweat. This is not making me sweat. This is just so I can get my steps in. And a scientific like research company did this study, and 10,000 steps a day decreases your increases your life expectancy by like 60%. I think it add like every 10,000 steps over a course of like a month adds like 2 to 3 years of your life onto it. So yeah, get your steps in, guys. So now we know what cutting is and what to do with our calories, but what do we actually eat with, like, what are them calories? What are we eating? Um, so your diet really needs to be based around protein. That is like the king of cutting. It needs to stay high so you can preserve your muscle. Because if you don't eat enough protein while you're on a cut and you're on the treadmill for an hour, full sprinting, yeah, carbs are going, fats are going, but your muscles are also being used as energy stores. So you're going to lose that. Um, I think it's around 1.6 to 2.2 wait, one no 1.6 to 2.6 grams of protein per kilo of body weight. So say I was a 60 kilo guy, I'd probably want to eat around 140. I'd say. I think that's a good amount because if you're just eating shit ton of protein and it's just going to be used as energy stores anyway, like your body can only handle a certain amount of protein. It's not like if I eat 400 grams of protein a day, I'm going to get fucking jacked. It's probably going to cap at about 180 and you're just going to shit it all out. But yeah, so don't eat too much protein, but your protein needs to stay high in your diet, like really high. It should be your main. Say, we had the pie chart in the last video. Your protein should be taking a wide proportion of that. And fats aren't bad on a cut. If you're a male, do not decrease your fats by 35 grams a day, because if you do, it starts fucking up with your hormones and shit. Um, like they're good. Fats are good in proportions. Eating too much fats, you're going to put on fat. But just keep it around that 40 to 50 gram mark. I think that's a good like waypoint for it. And next one, carbs. So we've gone through protein, fats, now on carbs. Carbs are your main energy source, and to be fair, there's no set amount of carbs that you need to eat in a day. You can mess about with them because they're your main energy source. So if you say you eat 200 grams of carbs in a day, and by the end of the day you feel so tired and you're in bed by 9:30, well, that's not a bad time to be in bed. But if you're just really tired throughout the day, then you probably need to up your carbs. So, because on a cut, you're not really going to get any energy from anything else because you're not eating as much. So carbs are your main priority for energy. So before the gym, you should probably have like a few rice cakes or something because they're easy, fast digesting carbs, and they'll give you a bit of energy in the gym. You don't have to, but if you were to, it wouldn't hurt. Um, so yeah, that's all the carbs, fats, protein bit. But what do you actually eat to get that? So a good lean meat for protein is turkey. There's not a lot of fat in that, but basically stick to like just your mains. To be fair, chicken, beef, but steak is a weird one because obviously you get loads of different cuts of steak and they all have different fats on them. So look for the one that has the least fat on it. And that's pretty much for every meat as well. like gammon. That's quite high in fat though. So yeah, try to avoid like bacon and like sort of ham and stuff. That is quite high in fat. Um, so that's proteins. Chicken is probably one of the best ones. I know chicken and rice is a really common meal for cutting and bulking. Just, but that leads me on to carbs. Rice is not the best carb for a bulk. For a cut. Potatoes are. Potatoes are so good on a cut. They are high. No, they're high volume and low calorie. Carbs. Potatoes are the main food that you want to get. Like you want to eat for carbs. Um, a lot of high volume and low calorie foods are like obviously potatoes. Vegetables are really good. You could have a big bowl of broccoli for like under 100 calories, 200 calories, something like that. Fruits are really good as well, but make sure to keep your sugar and salt levels quite low on this on a on a cut. Um, so that's pretty much all the good foods: protein, carbs, fats. I would say nuts in like a small portion because they're very calorie dense, but they're healthy fats. I don't know what is up. I need to keep burping. Um, I think it's because I just had a yogurt bowl. Um, avocados quite high in fat, but it is healthy. So any fat is good in moderation, really. Any healthy fat. So if you was just like straight eating like gammon fat, that'd be pretty shit. But if it's something like an avocado, that wouldn't be too bad. Um, now drinking, lots of water helps on a cut. You should be like drinking about 3 liters a day on a cut. It really does help control your hunger, and it has 0 calories. So you can drink as much as you want of it and not put on any weight. You put on water weight, but it's not going anywhere. It's 0 calories. So water is really good for anything, really. Not just a cut, but lots of water really does help. Um, and if you say you're like a craving a chocolate bar or a packet of Haribo's, get like a sugar-free Pepsi Max. They're basically 0 calories. I know they say they label it as 0 calories, but really it's about like 0.4 per 100 milliliter. So have one of them. That really helps with craving sometimes, and it really like. And although they're zero sugar, they do they feel sugary. They feel sweet, and they taste. They don't feel sweet. They taste sweet. Like you can't tell me you drank a Coke and it hasn't felt fucking hell. You can't tell me you've never drank a Pepsi and thought this isn't sweet, whether it's zero sugar or not. Like they're really good. So diet and 0 calorie sugary drinks can help. Right. Next section is training whilst you're on a cut. Um, you really should be training the exact same as you should like on a bulk. Don't go light just because you're putting less in your body. That's not how it works. If you're maintaining a high protein diet, then your training should be perfectly fine. Like you shouldn't be sore all the time. You should be you can grow on a cut. I'll do it if you want me to. I can do a video on that because you can put on muscle mass and lose body fat at the same time. I was reading a big study about it earlier, and it was actually quite cool. Like I didn't think you could, but apparently you can. Um, yeah, don't go light because you're putting less in your body. Keep lifting as heavy as possible. Really, training to failure. Obviously, you don't need to run all of these sets. If you're eating less, your body will take more to recover. But high protein diet should fix that. Um, yeah, you shouldn't be trying to build new muscle. You should just be trying to maintain your strength. and I feel like that's the best way to go. Like I said, eat fast, digestible carbs before you work out if you didn't feel energized in the day. Like if you get home, say, and you're just about to go to the gym and you're like yawning, you probably need some carbs in your system. So yeah, just a few rice cakes or I don't know, like a banana. That helps a lot. Potassium, bit of energy. Yeah, but banana's pretty good for pre-workout. Um, Pre-workout, I think you can take on a cut. There's nothing wrong with that. I do think most of them are 0 calorie. I don't take it because it fucks up with my sleep. Like every time I've took pre-workout, I've slept. Well, I haven't slept. That's just full stop. I haven't slept. Yeah, and I didn't feel any different in the workout. That's the worst bit. Um, right, cardio sort of links with training, so I'll go through that now. Um, it helps, but it isn't essential. Like everyone says, oh, you need to do cardio on a cut, and yeah, it is recommended, and it does improve your weight loss journey faster. But you can lose weight without doing cardio. Um, I don't mean just like walking about. I mean doing like treadmill work and like actually putting your body through a sweating phase where your heart rate is up high. Um, just walking about. I'm not saying that is like cardio, although it is steps, but your body's not going through that phase where you're sweating. Um, so I recommend 30 minutes a day of not that high walking, not that high setting on the treadmill, but incline walking. It just it's a bit harder, so it just gets your body sweating faster. Um, but that's what I do. But any form of cardio is good. Like there's no perfect cardio. The best cardio is the one that you can stick to. Not there's no like with weightlifting. It's different because you could do an incline bench, and that would be better for your chest than a flat bench. Well, for your upper chest. But with cardio, there's no difference between them all. Just as long as your heart rate raises, that's cardio. And sweating, really. And when you're on a treadmill, don't hold on to it. Just defeats the whole point of it, especially with incline. You're just holding on and pulling yourself up with that. But yeah. So when you're doing your cardio, make sure to hands flat down and go hard on cardio. Don't do too much of it though, because that will fuck with like what you're losing if it's just fats or proteins or whatever. You want to be losing fats, so don't do too much cardio because too much cardio you'll deplete all your fats and then you'll start working into your protein, and you don't want to do that. Um, so yeah, 30 minutes is pretty good. Maybe you want to push it to 45. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. But anything over like an hour and a half, that's really fucking pushing it. And I think you'll burn through all your fats in an hour. So cardio isn't that needed, but it is recommended. I recommend you do your cardio, but I recommend you do your cardio on a bulk as well, so you're not putting on that extra fat. Right. So you've done all your setting your calories, finding your macronutrients and what tracking what you're eating, you're doing your cardio. But how do you actually know you're making progress? So weigh yourself at a certain day every week, just like as soon as you wake up. As soon as you get out of bed, as soon as you get out of bed, run to the scales. Not fucking. You don't have to run, but just that's the first thing that you should do. But if you are desperate for a shit or a piss, do that first. That'll decrease your weight because you're pushing stuff out of your body. I should say, because you're pushing out shit, you're probably gonna be like a pound lighter. Depends how much you shit. But yeah, every week, the same day, same scale. Do not weigh yourself upstairs as well, because your upstairs weight is different to your downstairs weight. You need to be on a flat surface, and it's like this has loads of shit underneath it, but your ground floor is just loads of dirt, compact dirt. So it really is taking your actual weight. Like, I remember when I first started bulking, I had my scale in my room because I didn't want my mum to know that I was like weighing myself every week. And I came in at like 20 kilos. I was like, what the fuck? Surely this ain't right. And then I took it downstairs outside and I was like 50. I was like, whoa, there's no way I just put on 30 kilo from walking downstairs. So it is, that really does affect it. Um, but you can't just rely on the scale as it can fluctuate. Like, if I weigh myself today and I weigh myself tomorrow, it could be different. It could be like, I could be 3 pounds heavier tomorrow, but the day after that, I could be 2 pounds lighter. It's always going to be different. You're not going to weigh the same every single day. But if you are consistent with weighing yourself every single week, you will start to see a pattern in between them weeks. If it's going up or down. So don't weigh yourself every single day because it's going to be different, and you can be like, "What the fuck is happening to me?" If you don't know like anything about your weight. But if you were to weigh yourself every day, you would come in different every single day because you're not eating the same stuff, drinking the same amount of water, shitting the same mass. But yeah, don't just rely on the scale. Take progress pictures as well. They can really help. Um, so that's just maybe on your Snapchat hidden or photos hidden. Take a photo of yourself just standing like this, standing to the side. I can't really do it on the treadmill, but standing to that side, facing the back, and just say day one of cut. Then maybe a month later, do the same and say 1 month of cut. And if you're doing everything right, it should look sort of different, and you should be able to see progress. And you can look back on that and be like, "Holy shit, I've lost so much." Um, and the same with like measurements. Like measure your waist, measure your arms, measure like your chest. Back's sort of weird. Can't really struggle to measure my back, but yeah, that is really good because you're actually measuring the amount of mass that you have on a certain part of your body, and then you're going a month later and you're looking back on that and it's going to be less. So it's clearly showing that you are losing mass there or everywhere. Like that's that's going to be a real like show of your progress. But if you are just relying on a scale, look for weekly trends and not daily trends. Really, because daily trends is going to mess with your brain a lot. Right, I've slowed down the treadmill just because I feel a lot of phlegm building up in the back of my throat from talking. I think that's why I was coughing so much as well. So we've gone through what is a cut, what should your calories be, what food should you eat, and how should your pie chart of fats, proteins, carbs look like. How you train, your cardio, how you track progress. Now it's mistake time. So what mistakes do people make, and how should you avoid them? So first mistake I've already gone through, but I'm still going to mention it again because it is really serious. Cutting calories too hard. Holy shit, the neighbour's dog just scared the fuck out of me. I thought there was a dog out there and it was like out there and it was trying to attack me. But yeah, first mistake. Cutting calories too hard. Your body won't adapt to a 1,000 calorie decrease in your maintenance as well as it will with a 200 calorie slow decrease. I'm actually going to up the treadmill because I feel like I'm walking really, really slow. Um, so yeah, do not cut your calories too hard. Make sure you're doing that slow decrease so your body can really adapt to it. Um, not not eating enough protein is another mistake. That is like the key to your cut. And well, the key to your cut is eating less than you should be and hitting your protein. Um, and you can't expect results immediately. Like I said at the start, fats take so long to burn down, and it is going to be a long process. Like most cuts last like 12 weeks, so it's not going to be a 5 minute ab routine. It's going to be like a over a period of fucking hell. I keep burping now. It's going to be over a period of time. Another mistake people make a lot with everything is not sleeping enough. Sleep is where your body recovers and repairs and rests. And poor sleep increases production of ghrelin, which is your hunger hormone. So if you're sleeping less, you're going to feel more hungry. And if you feel more hungry, then you're going to eat more. And that's like the opposite of what you want to do on a cut. But just because you're releasing a hunger hormone does not mean that you should not sleep on a bulk. So that's not saying don't sleep because I'll always feel hungry, because you need sleep to recover and repair your muscles that you've broken down. That's what working out does. Like, you are causing micro tears in your muscles, and say there was only one tear, the muscle is like, holy shit, I'm not strong enough for this. I'll make two of myself. So you've got more muscle fibers than you did before, and what builds those muscle fibers are your proteins. So that's basically how muscle growth works. And don't do too much cardio, which I've already said, because it leads to using your muscles as fuel to do your cardio. And that can increase hunger too, because you're burning so much, you're basically empty. So you're gonna resort to that ghrelin being released again and feeling hungry because your body has nothing in it. So that's pretty much all the common mistakes that I could think of. Um, the only other mistake, which is pretty obvious, is breaking your cut and eating loads of donuts and cookies and sweets. So that's another mistake, but I think that was pretty obvious, and I didn't need to go through it. But that is pretty much it for cutting. It's very simple. Calorie deficit, high protein diet, train hard, make sure to not go light just because you're eating less, and be impatient really. You're not going to lose fat after one day of cardio and one day of eating well. You're gonna it's gonna be over a period of time, like I said. Um Also, if you really are not seeing any progress after doing all this, I can make some meal plans if you want and upload them. So if you want that, comment. Um, and I can also do a part two of this, going really deep into it, like the science-based stuff, because I'm really into that. Like I said, with the muscle fibers, that's just surface level. That's just like basic knowledge of how your muscles work. But if you really need help with understanding what your body's doing, then I can 100% make a part to this. But yeah, that is pretty much it for cutting. Thank you for watching. I'll see you. Oh, I think tomorrow's another rest day. So, I won't see you tomorrow. I'll see you. It's the day of tomorrow. Thursday. If not tomorrow. Bye bye.